guy love between two guys. Your ride and die besties are your thick and thin people.
Sure.
It's a function of time, but it's also, does the relationship fall apart when things get rough, or do you find a way to forge through?
Do you put in the work?
Yeah. I'm ranking based on health of relationships, not watchability.
Because this might be the most watchable out of all.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
I have to be honest and straightforward. The Marvel bromances are all great.
Okay.
So this is a really hard list for me to rank. Now some people say, hey, that's what a bromance is. Me and my bros are just like that. Absolutely. Get your own damn YouTube channel. I'm ranking this. So
Hello and welcome to Cinema Therapy. I'm Alan Seawright, professional filmmaker who needs therapy. That's Jonathan Decker,
licensed therapist who loves movies. What's going on?
We've ranked romances.
Yeah.
We've ranked more romances.
Are we ranking more romances today?
Today we're going to rank bromances.
Ooh.
Marvel ones, specifically.
Something on which we have a bit of expertise.
It's having
We keep the fire burning, this guy and I.
The healthiest bromance on the internet. These two.
It's guy love between two guys. Guy love, that's all it is. Guy love, he's mine, I'm his.
So, Marvel bromances, there's a million of them. I picked a couple.
Yes.
And I want you to put them in an order that you find to be, we'll probably do like we usually do, worst to best. Or
Okay.
least broy to most broy. I don't know how we're ranking these. I'll leave that up to you.
The broiness.
But we have Tony Stark and Rhodey Rhodes, Steve Rogers and Bucky Barnes.
Okay.
Bucky Barnes and Sam Wilson.
Ooh.
Peter Parker and Ned. Man in the chair.
Nice. Okay.
Rocket and Groot. I'm pulling for this one to be number one. And just to make it weird, Strange and Wong.
Okay. So I'm gonna say which of these are the healthiest friendships.
Healthiest friendships.
Healthiest friendships
Okay.
is what we'll go with.
Love it.
Okay. I would go with. None of them are like particularly terrible, but
None of them are bad.
as far as less healthy, I go with Strange and Wong.
As the least?
Yeah, as the least of this group. Okay, listen, I think the actors, I think they're a delight to watch together.
That is a good couple of Benedicts, is what that is.
Yeah, holy crap, I didn't even think about that.
That's a good pair of Benedicts.
Yeah, okay. The relationship itself, I would say, is just because they spend most of their time bickering.
Yeah.
And they spend most of their time wiener measuring, for lack of just who's the greatest sorcerer.
Sure.
You know, and there's not a ton of affirmation.
You're not ready for that. Try me, Beyonce.
Now, some people say, hey, that's what a bromance is. Me and my bros are just like that. Absolutely. Get your own damn YouTube channel. I'm ranking this. So
You can't talk to me like that. Them's fighting words.
They're ongoing bromance.
Tissue, wait.
We interrupt this program for an important news announcement.
Okay, first of all, I just wanted to throw this in because it's gross.
You're welcome. You know, it's ancient custom to bow in the presence of the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah, I'm aware of the customs.
And then later, yes! This is my favorite.
I don't even want to know!
They get to a point by the end of Multiverse of Madness where they could be one of the all-time great bromances.
Sure.
They just had a really rocky road to get there.
It took a bit of work.
Yeah. Next is Sam and Bucky.
Oh, okay.
This is a similar odd couple buddy cop bickering thing.
Can you move your seat up? No.
And don't get me wrong, I'm ranking based on health of relationships, not watchability.
Because this might be the most watchable out of all.
yeah.
It's so much fun. Interesting start here.
Guys, look, I'd love to keep this up, but I've only got one job here today, and I gotta impress Mr. Stark, so I'm really sorry. What?
You couldn't have done that earlier?
I hate you.
These are two guys lumped together by the power of Steve Rogers.
Well, what's funny to me is there's a subtext there that they both want to be Steve's number one.
Yes.
You
Very
know?
much so.
Obviously, Bucky was back in the 40s, but Sam's at the end of Winter Soldier or during Winter Soldier sees himself as, you know, sure.
I'm Cap's guy.
I'm Cap's guy, you know?
Yeah.
And now they're both Cap's guy, and
It's not
But one of them was the villain of the previous?
Yeah, it's not polyamorous because it's not romantic.
Polyfriendorous?
It's polyfriendorous, yeah. And
okay.
Now I know there are fans who are saying the subtext is there, and there's the fanfic is definitely there.
Of course it is.
But as far as text, this is polyfriendorous, and so I do see them as kind of like children competing for dad's attention.
That's very much what it is. Dad loves me more.
We all know Coulson is the favorite son.
Yeah, obviously.
Marvel therapy.
Who would like to start?
What a stern-looking therapist.
Dr. Rainer?
It doesn't help that they're in an interrogation room.
Why you want me to talk to Freaky Magoo over here? But I'm 100% fine.
It is my job to make sure that you're okay.
By the way, let us know in the comments if you want Jono to break down therapist versus movie therapist. This lady from Captain America or The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I agree.
See? Making progress already.
Making progress already.
So, who wants to go first? You guys are leaving me with no choice. It's time for the soul-gazing exercise.
I like this one, Doc.
God,
Thank
he's
you for
gonna
it.
love this.
Yeah.
I mean,
All right, turn around, face each other.
This feels so improvised. It's so great. I really wonder how much of this was scripted.
Let's do it. Let's stare.
Get close.
This is good exercise. Thanks, Doc.
Good. All right, get close. Come on, a little closer.
So I'm not aware of this as an actual technique.
You have to have your
Right or
legs
left?
open. You know what?
Why do you gotta have your legs open? Oh my gosh!
You know?
All right.
Right.
Yeah.
Good.
We're locked
That's
in
fine.
now.
It's a little close.
It's very close. That's what you wanted, right?
Guys. All right. James, why does Sam aggravate you? And don't say something childish.
He has to think now. He had one at the ready.
Why'd you give up that shield?
Why are you making such a big deal out of something that has nothing to do with you?
Steve believed in you. He trusted you. He gave you that shield for a reason. That shield, that is everything he stood for. That is his legacy. He gave you that shield and you threw it away like it was nothing. So maybe he was wrong about you. And if he was wrong about you, then he was wrong about me.
Bucky getting real.
Had a breakthrough.
And that's good therapy. Not necessarily the soul-gazing thing.
That was a little weird.
It's a little weird. I've never done that. But the prompt to not say something childish, that to me is a therapist who knows exactly who's in front of
She
them.
knows her client, yeah.
This is what you have to do in therapy. You have to establish the boundaries, and you have to have a light hold on the reins so you can take a tight hold on the reins when you need to.
Right.
Otherwise, if the therapist just did this, you'd have a full hour, a very enjoyable hour of them
Just bickering.
Yeah, but to actually get it to go somewhere, and you saw how she cut right through, it would have been 20, 30 minutes, an hour before they got there.
Oh, and I cut that down.
Yeah.
Like, there was more.
But she got it where it needed to go. She is too stern for me. I don't know why so many therapists in movies and TV are just look like stern, miserable people. Because most therapists I know are generally pleasant,
Yeah, mostly.
upbeat people.
Yeah.
But that's a Hollywood thing, I guess.
So let's see where we end up with these two by the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier.
You up for a little tough love? You want to climb out of that hell you're in. Do the work. Do it.
I've been making amends.
You weren't amending, you were avenging. You were stopping all the wrongdoers you enabled as the Winter Soldier. Because you thought it would bring you closure. You go to these people and say sorry. Because you think it'll make you feel better. Right? But you gotta make them feel better. You gotta go to them and be of service. I'm sure there's at least one person in that book who needs closure about something, and you're the only person who can give it to them.
Probably a dozen.
That's cool. Start with one.
So Sam Wilson is the best movie therapist in all
Marvel.
of the MCU, right?
Well, because that's what he did. He led groups.
He started as a group, counselor, right?
For veterans, yeah.
Yep.
And you could see it right there in that. So, look, I have to be honest and straightforward. The Marvel bromances are all great.
Okay.
So this is a really hard list for me to rank.
Okay.
I look at these.
That's really solid, right?
Both them and Strange and Wong end up in this really beautiful place, and that's the journey of the story. These other friendships, we get to see in media res, like when we first meet them, they're all close. It's already established. We don't see the rocky history. And it's hard to rank these 4 for me because to me, they're all ride or die besties.
Okay.
But we're going to give it a shot anyway. So let's take a look at Tony and Rhodey.
Really? I thought this would be higher. Okay, interesting.
Big gun, you are not the big gun.
Don't be jealous.
No, it's subtle, all the bells and whistles.
Yeah, it's called being a badass.
Fine. All right. You go up top. I'll draw him in.
Well, don't stay down here. This is the worst place to be.
Okay, you got a spot. Where's
It's
mine?
the kill box, Tony, okay? This is where you go to die.
So this
is where you go to die. What a great setup.
This upends a trope that I get really annoyed by, which is people bantering when they should be taking action.
Will you marry me?
I don't think now's the best time.
Yeah.
And usually it doesn't make a difference because, like, oh, the bad guys are all running towards us, but we're going to banter for a while and then we'll fight and it'll be fine. In real life, if you're stupid enough to banter with your buddy when you should be taking the high ground,
I have the high ground.
it's going to go poorly. And I love that they spend so much time doing Marvel banter that they put themselves in the kill box and they stay there.
Are you still locked on?
Yeah.
Drop your socks and grab your Crocs. We're about to get wet on this ride.
That is grade A banter. It's very good.
Tony and Rhodey are there for each other.
Yeah.
For anything. And the bickering feels less mean.
Right.
It feels more like playful teasing. Whereas with the previous 2, they're definitely trying to take each other down a peg and they're cutting each other down, which isn't real friendship.
Right.
Here, it's just seeing who can get the best roast in.
Yeah.
You know?
They're kind of almost rooting for each other in a way.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, hey, nice one. I'm going to see if I can top that.
It's just a first pass. Yeah. Give me some feedback. Anything you think of, shock absorption, lateral movement. Cup holder?
You may want to think about some AC down there.
And of course, making light of a terrible circumstance because that's what we do.
Well, do they make light of air?
I mean, they're joking about putting cup holders on his leg braces.
Oh, yeah. But that's just gallows humor to get through it.
Yeah, exactly.
138. 138 combat missions. That's how many I've flown, Tony. Every one of them could have been my last, but I flew them. Because the fight needed to be fought. It's the same with these accords. I signed because it was the right thing to do. And yeah, this sucks. This is a bad beat. But it hasn't changed my mind. I don't think.
I wonder if Tony feels guilty about what happened to Rhodey.
Right, because he's responsible, pretty much.
For talking Rhodey into signing the Accords.
Talking Rhodey into signing the Accords. He's directly responsible for Rhodey getting shot out of the sky and, grievously wounded. It's unclear if he's crippled and, like, Tony fixes him with Stark tech or if he, heals naturally after a while. But either way, like, it's a bad beat.
Well, what's beautiful about the writing in this is Tony doesn't explicitly say, I feel guilty for what happened to you. Right? That's George Lucas writing.
That's Star Wars prequels writing.
Yeah,
which is bad.
But Rhodey telling him, I signed because it was the right thing to do, and I don't regret it. Like, even now, I stand by that decision, is his way of telling Tony, I don't blame you.
Right. Well, and Tony tells him with a couple of glances, this is what great actors do, right? Robert Downey Jr. tells him a whole story.
Yeah.
And you get it. Like, we as the audience get it. Rhodey gets it.
You can see the regret in Tony's face, which is why Rhodey says what he says.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Number 3 is Rocket and Groot.
Man, I really thought they would be higher too.
Again, the top 4 are really hard to rank.
They're tough to rank. And I guess there's not a ton, but we'll watch some of it.
Okay.
And now I'm going to cry because a cartoon tree is going to protect a cartoon raccoon. Thanks, movies, for giving me feelings for crap like that.
Well, look at how he cradles the raccoon.
I know. He's so adorable.
Protective ball.
No, Groot. You can't. You'll die. Why are you doing this? Why?
We are Groot.
Oh, man.
Fade to white. Get you every time.
Oh, man.
Interesting choice to cut to that big wide, too, that makes it feel a little bit smaller.
Yeah. So the reason I have two more ahead of this one is, look, Rocket and Groot, especially in the first film, are probably the best bromance.
Yeah.
But then that version of Groot, first of all, it's only one-sided. Like, I only hear Rocket because I didn't take Groot as elective at my university.
You didn't?
Yes, I don't know.
Didn't study Groot?
I am Groot.
Whoa!
Hey.
So I don't know what Groot is saying. But also that after the first film, it becomes more of like uncle nephew.
Yeah.
You know, instead of like a
relationship
true
very much changes.
Yeah, because you got like this little baby Groot and the teenage Groot and all these things, and so it's not the same. So we don't have a lot of time with them together. That's the only reason why, because obviously they're amazing.
That's solid.
Number 2, Peter and Ned. Peter Parker and Ned.
Peter Parker.
One thing I love about Ned is his optimism and that it's not fake.
Right.
That it's not performative and he's not bottling or hiding what he's actually feeling to protect Peter. He's just legitimately pretty go with the flow and chill.
Yeah.
He got trained in the neck by Nick Fury and he's like,
dude,
badass.
That's the coolest thing that ever happened to me.
Go, right?
You're gonna forget who I am.
What? Forget who you are. What are you talking about?
It's okay. I'm gonna come and find you, and I'll explain everything.
So this scene
And you
plays
kept half of that promise.
Yep.
I'll make you remember me.
So this scene plays mostly between Peter and MJ.
Okay?
There's not something we can.
But without Ned there,
like a
it
plan
doesn't
or
hit
something?
nearly as hard.
Something we can do.
There's nothing we can do.
Because he's just immediately
But it'll be okay.
willing to accept.
That Ned's...
You promise?
Yeah.
Yeah, I promise. I'll come find you, okay?
I know you will.
No Way Home did the work to take a fan service plot and make a legitimately great movie out of it.
Yep. Yep.
What's hitting you right now?
You got tears out of me on an objectively silly secret friend handshake.
Mm-hmm.
Because the actors figured out how to do it slow and sad.
Yeah. That's such a great director's note. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, and I think of Ned, he doesn't get into the college he wants to go to because of his friendship with Peter, and he's sad about it, but he doesn't blame Peter.
Right.
You know? And just all the times where Ned shows extreme loyalty, he's like the Samwise Gamgee.
He really is.
Of the MCU, which is the highest compliment I can give.
That is the highest compliment that can be given. So a question that I'm sure a lot of our viewers are going to have, and I have, should Peter have respected Ned's wishes? right? Because after this, he goes
He goes to the diner.
coffee shop or the diner or whatever.
He's got every intention.
And he sees Ned and he sees MJ and he's going to talk to them. And then he sees the cut on MJ's head, all that. And he chooses to not bring them back into his life.
Yeah.
Right? And so was that wise? Is that a dumb kid? Is that like how... Because I always read it as like, oh, that's a noble sacrifice that he's making.
Right.
And that is the thing a true friend would do because...
They're not in danger anymore.
Right.
And they can be happy. And
But you can make the argument either way. So how do you see that?
I didn't think twice about it when I saw it in the theaters. I thought that's a powerful, poignant ending.
Sure.
And then we did our Tom Holland Spider-Man episode, and a lot of you sounded off in the comments that he didn't honor their choices.
Right.
And that's not being a true friend. And that's kind of where I've landed, actually. I think he should have told them because he said he would.
Okay.
And because I think he's undervaluing how much his friendship adds to their life.
I think he is. Yeah.
Which is why they wanted him to come find them and make sure they knew, and because their lives are richer for him being in them.
Well, and that's a very human thing, right? Like most of us undervalue what we
bring to the table
for other people.
Yeah, and so I mean, I'm sure that's a big part of it. I think he should have told him.
So this is why they're not ranked tippy tops.
That's a reason. It's probably the only reason.
Okay,
we'll go with that.
So I guess that leaves tippy top. No surprise.
Han and Chewie, right there in the MCU.
In the Patton Oswalt MCU.
Han says that the planet Kashyyyk has been destroyed by this very mysterious force. Now we know, this was Thanos.
Sure. The MCU theatrical releases, sure, Cap and Bucky.
Okay.
Oh man, this is the ultimate ride or die bromance.
Absolutely.
Maybe to an unhealthy extent. I'm suddenly questioning. We'll watch.
Listen, it's a bromance that stretches across a century. Let's go. Surprisingly brutal beating.
Yeah.
On Skinny Steve here.
You don't want to give up, do you?
I can do this all day.
But your ribs can't. Oof.
Hey, pick on somebody your own size.
Man in uniform. Ow.
I like getting punched.
I had him on the ropes.
How many times is this? Oh, you're from Paramus now. You know it's illegal to lie on the enlistment form. And seriously, Jersey?
You get your orders?
The 107th. Sergeant James Barnes, shipping out for England first thing tomorrow.
Your haircut's not straight on your neck there, Bucky.
Going.
Come on, man.
He's going to fight the Nazis. He didn't care.
Gotta get you cleaned up.
Why? Where we going?
Future.
It's because it's foreshadowing, guys.
Well, I'm a big fan of Bucky being Steve's hero.
Yeah.
To start. You get a lot in the first Captain America because of Steve's size of people showing who they actually are.
Yeah.
From Bucky to Peggy to Steve himself. Mm-hmm. That Steve shows his caliber before he takes the serum, right?
He was always a big man.
I need a big boy, give me a big boy.
And we also know, and Steve knows, that Bucky is his ride or die best friend.
Yep.
Because he was when he was this scrawny punk.
I thought you were dead.
I thought you were smaller.
You know me. No, I don't!
If you're watching this, you already know what's going on in the story. I'm not going to explain it to you.
Bucky, you've known me your whole life. Your name is James Buchanan Barnes. Shut up! I'm not gonna fight you. You're my friend. You're my mission. Then finish it. Because I'm with you to the end of the line.
I mean, come on.
That's good friending.
I mean, in real life, if you have a friend that's repeatedly punching you in the face, then
you could,
maybe find some new friends.
Put your hands up.
But this is, it's all contextual. It's all about the context here.
Also, if he's already shot you 3 times and is now beating the crap out of you.
The sheer amount of love and loyalty and devotion that Steve has for Bucky, I might be reconsidering because we're ranking unhealthy versus unhealthy versus...
I was going to say, like, if we're ranking on healthiness, if we're ranking on just sheer...
Love and loyalty,
obviously tops. Ranking on healthiness...
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have put this at 1 because...
He overlooked some things.
Well, because so, for example, Tony is not willing to see Bucky. Once he learns the Winter Soldier is just the Winter Soldier. And Steve is the opposite, where he barely is acknowledging that the Winter Soldier's in there. He's like, this is Bucky. We're going to get him out. We're going to...
Sure.
And Steve endangers people, including himself and his other friends, and also lets his friendships with Tony, like his friendship with Tony, sours because of his loyalty to Bucky. And he's been criticized for... There are different ways he could have done that wouldn't have had the outcome that they had. And that's true. So maybe I shouldn't have put this number 1, but for sheer love and loyalty.
This is hard to beat.
You remember that time we had to ride back from Rockaway Beach in the back of that freezer truck?
Was that the time you used our train money to buy hot dogs?
You blew $3 trying to win that stuffed bear for a redhead.
What was her name again?
Dolores. You called her Doc.
She's gotta be 100 years old right now.
So are we, pal.
You will have my king's garter, the border tribe, the Dora Manoje, and...
A semi-stable 100-year-old man.
Oh.
How you been, Buck?
Not bad. For the end of the world.
Beard's a good look on both of them.
Mm-hmm. Bearded Cap is perfect Cap.
Your haircut? Notice you've copied my beard.
Your ride and die besties are your thick and thin people.
Sure.
Yep. It's a function of time, but it's also, does the relationship fall apart when things get rough, or do you find a way to forge through?
Do you put in the work?
Yeah. You and I have been through some
shit. We really have. All you guys see is the bromance, but, we run a company together. That hasn't always gone well. We've been separated by thousands of miles any number of times and lost touch and regained and all kind. Yeah. Been through a lot.
Yeah. But we make it work.
We're the real bromance. We're not. If you have any ideas for other bromances, Marvel bromances, cismances, I don't know how that works.
Sisterhood of the Traveling Pantses.
Sisterhood of the Traveling Pantses. Leave them in the comments below. We want to know what else have him rank stuff. He's good at lists. Putting them in order.
So until next time.
Don't do anything stupid until I get back.
How can I? You're taking all the stupid with you.
And watch movies.
Wasn't that just heartwarming?
We are Groot.
Our thanks to all of our Patreon patrons for helping us to produce the show.
But especially thank you to Natalie Carbone, Kayla Fried Lee, Abigail Friedman, Jessica with a K, and Scott Rivas.
Thank you for supporting our channel.
You're great. And fried or freed.
Mm-hmm. Depends on the vowels.